with Harry Mays.
Parental discretion is advised.
The godfather of sports radio.
It is a final.
Here is Tony Bruno.
Tony Bruno.
Beautiful.
Hello there. It is an Apology Friday. I can't apologize for Tropical Storm Faye, Harry. Harry Mays, Tony Bruno, Miss Robin. I got my crumb bum shirt on. We have an empty couch today, Harry.
Yes, sir.
People already noticing it on the Twitch stream as we begin broadcasting festivities here from the now Storm Cellar. Not just the wine cellar, not just the broadcast center, but the Storm Center. Your Storm Center on your radio dial for storm news the minute you want it. We have meteorologist Ryan Rothstein in here today, just in from New Jersey. All the local TV stations have their reporters out in this heavy tropical storm, taking video of their windshield wipers going real fast, Harry.
It's great reporting.
That's breaking in live with that kind of
Ryan
coverage.
almost had to sail here.
I know. It's bad, especially along the, when you have the high tide, having had a boat at the Jersey Shore, and people who live in areas where there's a high tide and then you have a major storm, the water has nowhere to go. Mm-hmm. And so it rises up on the streets.
It's a storm surge.
It is a storm surge. Not the Seattle surge or some of the Portland surge, I think. There were some of the old defunct teams in previous sports leagues to try to get it back to sports here.
Or Serge Zwicker, former center for the Carolina Tar Heels.
Let me give you
and
a
hopefully,
roaring round of applause for that, Harry.
Hopefully there will not be surge pricing on all the necessities that are always at risk during times
Not
like this.
surge so hard. Well, you don't have to go out and run out and buy water now. Just go out and get a straw.
Toilet paper, eggs, milk, and bread.
No, this isn't a snowstorm, Robin.
Yeah.
But
people
people freak out, and those are the four things that always disappear off the shelves.
So today, for all of you who are on the East Coast, now the rest of the country is not having this. This is affecting the Eastern Seaboard, New York City. I hope it doesn't wash off the freshly painted Black Lives Matter decal in front of Trump Tower on Fifth Avenue. Poor Mayor Bill de Blasio out there and all of his assistants. They spent a lot of time out there putting that baby together, Harry. Meanwhile, the city's going to hell. People can't eat. The rats are now taking over the streets. The cops are all resigning. Well, let's get a mural painted on the streets. But anyway, let's get it back to what's going on here, Harry. Tropical Storm Faye.
Yep, I told you about this. I tried to warn you yesterday.
I haven't left the house, so I don't have to worry about it. I don't need my rubbers.
Right.
I didn't need my umbrella, and I didn't need my mask today. I went without the three vitals.
Tony, you haven't needed your rubbers for a long time.
Well, I mean, listen, I'm safe. You know what I'm saying? I'm safe now. You know what they say?
That's what I'm talking about.
Not Faye Vincent, Harry. Not Faye Ray. And that was what I pulled out right before the show. Faye Ray, Robin. Do you know who Faye Ray is or was? I'm assuming she's no longer.
I recognize the name, but I couldn't place where she was from.
Let's go on a Twitch stream and see who knows the answer.
Well, I know a Faye that I used to like.
Faye Dunaway.
No.
She was strong, too.
Faye Resnick. Remember her?
Faye Resnick.
From the O.J. Simpson era?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Who was
Faye
she?
Resnick. She was
Google
hot.
her, Robin. Faye Resnick.
Yeah.
What did she have to do with the O.J. Simpson thing?
She was the she was a television personality, author, and interior designer, and she's best known for the O.J. Simpson murder trial for her appearance on the reality series The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
Damn right. Yeah.
Although she's 63 now, she's starting to lose some of the alacrity
Yeah.
and some of the Botox.
Well, she's
But
definitely.
you know what?
Hey.
She
Who am I to say that
she's definitely lost all of her elasticity.
Exactly. And but that happens to the best of us and the worst of us,
That's
Harry.
okay. I'm okay with inelastic women.
I mean, you're going into a bar that you can go into. They say bars were open, and you can stroll into a bar late on a Friday night. And Faye Resnick is there at age 68.
Or like a bar restaurant like the Ivy. Maybe
Yeah,
the
the
one
Ivy on Robertson Boulevard,
Right.
where I frequented that many times with Pat O'Brien. We did lunch there many times.
Nice.
Harry. Many times.
How many martinis?
I didn't do martinis.
No?
I just did vodka crayons. I never,
okay.
just because I was in one of these martini bars doesn't mean I have to drink a martini.
No, it's...
Robin's like that.
Yeah.
Robin goes into a martini bar. She has to order a martini. Now, that makes sense.
You get one.
Yeah.
You know.
Hello.
I mean, if they're known for really good martinis or a
Exactly.
good
Yeah,
dirty
you're right about
martini.
that. Robin likes dirty martinis.
Ah,
I do.
yeah.
And that's okay.
Especially
I like Dirty
like-
So does-
Diana myself.
so
That was a
does-
great song. Remember that?
So does Selima. She likes the dirty martini.
Especially like the blue cheese olive
Yeah,
dirty
yeah,
martinis.
oh, yeah.
Oh.
I like all my women dirty. I mean, you know what I'm saying? In the right way. Now,
Two
you
of
know.
those, and she's ready to go.
I don't 72 apparently and lately.
Hi, puppy.
Anyway, and Faye Dunaway was another good pull.
Right.
Anybody else with some Faye names? And then, of course, Faye Ray. Look that one up.
Faye Ray. How do you spell Ray? Is it with an E on the end?
It doesn't matter. Just look up Faye Ray.
Doesn't matter.
Google will figure it out for you.
If I'm not mistaken, Faye Ray was the first actress who was in the King Kong movie that King Kong grabs on top of the Empire State Building.
She's from Canada. Yeah, I think
Canadian?
you're right. Yeah.
That's how I remember her. Of course, she's been gone for a long time.
She starred as Anne Darrow in the 1933 film King Kong.
How about that pull?
That's
Larry?
an amazing
Who's
pull.
pulling Faye Ray out of their butthole?
She was only
Bungholio.
What? She was only 5'3", Tone.
Well, King Kong had small hands. I mean, but that was back before he became big.
She was dubbed as one of the early screen queens. Scream
queens, yes.
Queens.
Dina Faye Ray, born in 1907, and she died in 2004 at the age of 96, God bless her.
Wow.
No, she didn't fall off the Empire State Building while she was revisiting the scene of her triumphant movie career. You remember the original King Kong?
I do.
When you look at it now, it's like so because everything was like stop action and where they would actually have to move the gorilla and then stop and do it.
She looked pretty good.
Yeah, she was strong, Harry.
Yeah.
Back in the day. Back in the good old days.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Regarding the original King Kong,
yes.
If you go visit the Empire State Building and you go all the way to the top,
Yes.
they have a really cool King Kong exhibit where it looks like King Kong is reaching through the window, and then they have the original movie playing behind.
What they had to do is, since they
It's really
charge you
cool.
like $30 to go up to the top of the Empire, which I haven't done since I was a kid when it was free, but now because of the World Trade Tower, that's an incredible attraction up there going up to the top. When you go to the Empire State Building, they have to do it in stages like Disney rides, where they can't let everybody up to the top because it's not that big of an area on the observation tower.
Right.
So what they do is they have like stages. So they take you to one floor and then you walk through, and then they have this one room. It looks like there's glass around it, and then King Kong like reaches around the corner, but it's all virtual. His hand doesn't come out. There's a big hand, a fake one.
You can take pictures with.
You can take pictures like in his grasp
You're
and
in
all
the
that
grasp,
other stuff. Yeah.
In the grasp.
And you have
You
to
get a flag.
They throw the play
They throw
dead.
the flag.
They rule the play dead right there, and you're not allowed to go to the next level, Harry, until they get King Kong the hell out of there and make it safe once again. But we've got a lot of developing situations, and this is breaking news, Harry. Adrian Wojnarowski, a guy that I've respected. He is the most trusted. He is the best NBA guy by far. There is no debating that. I've known Woj since he was at Yahoo Sports. I used to have him on my shows wherever I was. I still respect the guy. But unfortunately this morning, he let whatever he has inside of him boil over, and he did a tweet today. And, this is what you say it all the time, Harry. Twitter is bad for humanity. It really is, Harry.
Yes.
I don't call for anything to be banned or abolished or boycotted or taken down. But so this morning, Senator Josh Hawley from Missouri, he's a freshman senator.
Right.
And he issued a statement about the NBA, and he ripped the NBA. He must have been listening to the show yesterday.
I think so.
I mean, I've been way ahead of this.
Right.
I've been ahead of the whole NBA is China's biatch.
As you have on most things.
I mean, yeah. Everybody jumps on the Tony Bruno. That guy knew something.
Yep.
Back in the day when I was calling the NBA Smoke and Mirrors League, people mock me. When I've been taking on LeBron James, not that he's not a great player or the best player in the league or a guy who's going to win another championship.
Maybe.
LeBron James is China's biatch, or bish, as they say now. There's no debating that. That doesn't mean he's not a great player. That doesn't mean he can't say what he wants. That doesn't mean he can't use his platform to do what he does. He's an American. But you know what it means? That I, too, as an American, have a right to call him out. I'm not calling for him to be thrown out of the league. So Woj gets this email that Senator Josh Hawley sends out, and he sends it to the NBA. And then ESPN, when it was sent out, anybody with NBA on it, the message was sent to everybody associated with it.
Right.
And that included Adrian Wojnarowski at ESPN. And Adrian Wojnarowski responded to the tweet on his very own personal iPhone email account.
Unbelievable.
To Josh Hawley. 2 words. The first word started with an F, and the second word starts with a U.
Yes. And it
F,
was spelled
U.
out.
Yes, the whole spelled out.
Yep.
2 words, F you. That was it to Senator Josh Hawley.
Right.
Now, a lot of people are probably applauding him, and that's fine if you want to applaud him, but this is the worldwide leader. And I tweeted out earlier today, has there been a worse week in ESPN history than this week, Harry?
Well, yeah, they blew up their radio network.
My point, yeah.
Yeah.
This week has been an awful week for ESPN.
Not good.
So they let Mike Golick go after all these years, 22 years. They blow up their entire radio network and reboot it. And then today, Woj, one of their most trusted and respected guys, in a moment of anger, sends out an FU tweet to a U.S. Senator. Now,
that is, by the way, copied to pretty much everybody, right?
Exactly. So then he tweets this out, to be fair, at 2:06 p.m. this afternoon, Eastern Time. I was disrespectful and I made a regrettable mistake. I'm sorry for the way I handled myself, and I am reaching out immediately to Senator Hawley to apologize directly. I also need to apologize to my ESPN colleagues because I know my actions were unacceptable and should not reflect on any of them. And that's what you do when you make a mistake. And again, that's called anger within. And before you hit that send button, make sure you do like I do, Harry. Take a breath, take a deep breath.
Let Robin review it.
No, Robin doesn't have to review. I don't need any editors.
That would be a good idea sometimes.
I don't send out FU tweets to anybody. Even the people, the most vile people who come at me with some of the most vile names and insults.
Send your stuff to me first.
I don't even say that to the low-life scumbags who troll on Twitter.
You know, this review board thing is not a bad idea.
It's not a bad idea.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, so Senator Hawley's release was entitled, Senator Hawley Blasts NBA for kowtowing to Beijing and refusing to support the U.S. military and law enforcement.
And a lot of people feel that way.
Yeah.
You know, there's no question that the NBA's in bed with China. You know how that's a factual comment? Because it goes back to last year when Daryl Morey, during the Hong Kong protest, when the protesters were out there fighting for their own freedom in an oppressive regime, Daryl Morey commented on it. And then everybody turned on Daryl Morey. He was the bad guy for speaking the truth because it hurt the NBA's interest. And then so China, proving that what he spoke was truth, decided they weren't going to televise NBA games anymore. And then LeBron James' sphincter got tighter. You couldn't drive an actual finish nail.
A carpet tack.
No, a finish nail, which are the thinnest nails you can find, into his butthole with a sledgehammer. That's how tight LeBron James' butthole got.
That's 3 butthole references in 12
I'd go
minutes of the show.
Bungholio, but I don't have any Beavis and Butthead drops in the system right now. And so LeBron refuses. Mr. I have to say, and then he has a right to rip this country. He has a right to denounce America. He's a billionaire. He can do whatever he wants.
And he's an American.
And he's an American, so he has a right to write anything he wants. But the one thing he doesn't do, and it proves what I've been saying about the NBA being in bed with China, disrespecting law enforcement, disrespecting the military, and Josh Hawley, the senator, spoke the truth today.
And the hypocrisy is what you're...
It's all about hypocrisy.
Yeah, and Woj violated that sacred rule of journalism, too, Tone.
What's that?
You report the story. You don't become the story.
Yeah, and I'm sure he regrets. Listen, I am not going to rip. I'm not one of these guys. Woj should be fired for that.
No,
oh, my goodness.
No.
Now, a lot of people, somebody else, they'd be calling for their heads. I don't call for anybody's head.
You know, if he did this in his beloved China and sent it to a politician in China, he might be thrown in jail.
Oh, probably more so.
I'm not saying that Woj is in bed with China.
I'm just saying if he did it in China.
Oh, absolutely. You know, if LeBron did it in China, he'd be making Nikes for himself. With the Uyghur Muslims. LeBron would actually be sitting next to an enslaved Muslim in his beloved. There's no doubt. China is beloved by the NBA and by LeBron James. There is absolutely no doubt about it. That's not an opinion. That is a stone-cold, guaranteed lock fact. And the fact that many people who are honks for the league, I'm not a honk for any league. The fact that there are honks for this league who can't see that and are afraid to criticize LeBron James for obviously being in bed, because let's be honest, Harry, the United States has 318 million people.
Yeah.
China has over 1 billion. And who buys a lot of LeBron shoes?
A lot of sneakers. Yes.
China. And obviously they want that market. I'm a capitalist. I'd have no problem with that. If China wants to make a shoe for me, I'd still rip them. LeBron doesn't even want to rip them. Anyway, enough about that. So good for Woj. That's a mistake, and he owned up to it.
Free Hong Kong, Tone.
It's not free, but it's reasonable. I used to love the Hong Kong custom tailors. You can get 2 suits for the price of 1. Remember those ads, Harry?
Yes.
And Hong Kong is a beautiful
it is.
city.
Free Hong Kong. How about that? We got a lot coming up today. John McMullen will calm things down. Actually, he won't because we have more NFL debacles. We got baseball debacles. We got NBA debacles. We got all kinds of debacles on a Friday, Harry.
And he will incite a fire on the Twitch stream.
Yes, he will.
For sure. Are we taking the question from the Twitch stream for McMullen today?
Yes, we will.
Yeah,
if you have questions, not for dear old Captain Noah, for John McMullen, go on the Twitch stream on twitch.tv/Tony Bruno Show. You got to follow the show. It doesn't cost you anything, and you can submit your questions. John McMullen will join us next, so stick around. It is a free-for-all Friday, baby.
The whole Woj thing, I mean, it's also, you have no idea what led up to that. Like, there could have been other stuff going back and forth. He could have been upset about something else. That
was just you don't write "fuck you" on Twitter to anybody unless
it wasn't on Twitter.
No,
it was in the email.
No, that's right. And you don't email somebody on a company email.
Right.
That is worse.
Yeah.
Saying F you to somebody on Twitter is common practice.
No, I'm not.
It's the normal discourse.
I'm not excusing it. I'm just saying that, we are seeing this, the world is seeing this without knowing what led up to it. Not that there's an excuse for it at all, but there's no context to it. And it.
Listen, we all make mistakes. And, you all get pissed off. Harry's got the pissed off T-shirt. I am pissed off. That's why it's one of the top sellers.
If Woj had said that, nobody,
No, Woj knows he shouldn't have said anything. That's the bottom.
Yeah.
You just don't reply to it.
Because
it wasn't a direct. See, if Senator Hawley had sent Woj a note personally saying, you know what, Woj, you're sitting there, you're defending China, and you're in bed with China, and you ignore the police in this country and the military. He didn't send it to Woj. He just sent a statement out basically saying the NBA is kowtowing to China. And they are.
Yeah.
I follow the Gump, the Forrest Gump
Did you
philosophy.
like my ball-peen hammer and sledgehammer with a
finishing
nail?
Yeah.
I was going to go with like a needle,
I know you were searching. I could see
I was searching for the
searching
finest, thinnest needle available.
in your head. But my mama always said, if you can't say something nice, don't say anything at all. It's a good line. More people should adhere to that.
No, I love Woj. You know that.
Yeah, no, I mean,
I'm not looking for reasons to rip Woj or anybody.
You're not the only one that says he's the best. I remember when we had
everybody knows he's the best.
Ramona was saying
everybody knows it, Robin.
Yeah, no. But I was just saying that when we were talking to Ramona, she's like, I don't know how Woj does it. He must never sleep. He always has the first on everything. She was even joking. She's like, I don't know. Like, he must have made a deal with it. He gets at everything. How he does it, it's always first.
Sham's like 1 out
it's amazing.
of 10 times his first. That's it. It's either Woj.
He had to be in the bed, and there's a lot of stuff going on. Again, I'm not trying to defend anybody doing stupid stuff. I've done stupid stuff, and I apologize for it.
And you will continue in the future.
ESPN had to issue a statement because they're the most PC company in the world. Disney does not deal with that kind of stuff. They're already putting fires out at ESPN over what's happening with their own company.
Fire Dan Snyder, yes, we did see that, and we will touch on that. Because we mentioned TikTok yesterday, and he was just talking about how Amazon is making all of their employees remove TikTok from their phone.
Yes, that's an actual order from Amazon. By the end of the
major-
day, Harry.
Yeah. I never had it on my phone.
I've gone on there. I've looked at pictures.
I have no interest in this vanity bullshit that all these social media platforms.
Which vanity? Not vanity from
they
Vanity 6.
What the Fauci? You should say. I can't say that loud.
Welcome back to the Tony Bruno Show with Harry Mays on SiriusXM 211.
So for those people watching us on the Twitch stream, Harry, as they do every single day, because they can see the whole studio here. We are down to a skeleton crew of only 5 in the studio today. How many? Well, no, 5.
Well, it is Friday, though, so Kaneen will probably show up sometime around 4 o'clock.
That's a good guess. I have not
yeah, we are
going to
pour the Tito's again today, right?
Right.
So the couch guy, who's been getting a lot of love and a lot of ridicule as well this week.
On the couch.
Colin Farrell, the man now known as the guy on the couch, which isn't a bad thing because Ed McMahon was the guy on the couch. Right?
He has offered to call in because he is doing something that we were talking about yesterday. He is at the DMV currently.
Yes.
In a line that stretches around 10 city blocks.
Unless he's been washed away by massive waves down there in the Jersey Shore.
Yeah, but something about the couch guy that I discovered last night, and it has since been corrected somehow.
Is this breaking news?
Yeah, he was not following myself or Rothstein on Twitter.
Are you serious
yes.
right now?
So I texted Robin and I said, listen, couch guy's not following us on Twitter. He's going to get roasted tomorrow.
That's why
on
he
the
didn't
show.
come in. He's using the rain in the DMV as an excuse.
And sometime between that 8 o'clock last night and this morning, he started following me. Is he following you?
He's not following me.
No, he's not?
He's still not following me.
Did you fire off an FU email to him at least?
Listen, the couch guy story is 1B. The Woj story is 1A. I mean, it's right there.
Yeah.
This is big news.
It is.
I don't understand how he all of a sudden followed you right after you said he wasn't.
What did I do to deserve such disrespect?
Anyway, speaking of disrespect, there's nobody who gets disrespected more on the Twitch stream than John McMullen.
Well, right.
And I won't stand for that. I'll fire off. I'll get on the Twitch stream and drop some F-bombs.
Some
on
FU emails.
Exactly.
Yeah.
John McMullen has never done that, no matter how angry he has gotten in his great career as an Eagle insider on SI and Philly Voice. I mean, the man is a multimedia superstar. Even he has never resorted to firing off an FU email. Have you, John?
No, I don't think you could send an email to a Twitch stream, and those are the only people that don't like me. Everybody else loves me.
Absolutely. I think they love you. That's more of a, like a back and forth. You know how brothers used to fight each other? One guy would punch the one brother. I never had brothers. I had 2 sisters. You get punched in the arm.
It's interesting, though. You bring up Colin Farrell. I believe, and I'm not 100% positive, I believe he was following me, then had to unfollow me.
What?
And then followed me back. I think he was big time.
Wow.
So I don't know what's going on.
I just found out something. He is not following me
Aha.
either.
Even more. You know, yesterday he was flirting with our guest.
Well, yeah, Baumgartner.
Yes.
Yeah.
He was ready to ditch this show completely and jump ship.
For Brian Baumgartner, because he's a big Office fan. We even gave him a question to ask Brian Baumgartner from The Office.
And it's not even The Office. It's a podcast about The Office.
So he was ready, looking to find his way out of this show after only being on it for a short period of time. And today he completely unfollows everybody on the show and then doesn't show up for work.
I think the only reasonable thing to move past this would be an apology statement from Conlon. I mean, until then, it means nothing.
He's going to have to go on bended knee, Tone.
Yes, he does.
He's got to get out the Notes app. That's how you do it properly.
Oh, that's right, the Notes app. Yeah.
The Notes
and
app.
you got to attach it to your Twitter stream. That's how you have to do it.
No,
so
he has to get in on it. We have to do a Zoom, and he's got to be in a box, and we're going to have it up there, and he's going to apologize to everybody, not just me, not just Harry.
By the way, is he at the New Jersey Motor Vehicle Commission? Because remember, it's not the DMV anymore. It's the NVC. And they changed it because it had such a horrible reputation. And you see what it is now.
And here's the best part, because the governor of New Jersey, the Honorable Phil Murphy, has yelled at people because the DMV has been closed just like every other state. And so now a lot of people need their car registration, getting their licenses.
There's a backlog.
And so every day at 8 a.m. they open up at various locations throughout the state because it's a state agency. People show up at 8. By 9 o'clock, the building is full and they can't let anybody else in. So everybody
capacity.
And so people have been camping out. The governor
they got lounge chairs. It's like a concert.
And the governor has told those people to go home and not camp out because it's dangerous.
Yeah. As long as it's social distance, as long as you have your mask on, everything's fine.
Exactly right.
You got to do it, right?
Right now with the rain, everybody's being washed off.
Now, if you don't get your license renewed. And by the way, you can do all this by mail. I don't understand.
No, not everything.
Not
you
everything.
can't do everything by mail, John. You have to get in line. You don't think these people could get online and do it if they could?
I don't know, but I don't know what they're doing because I've done everything online for about 10 years now.
Well, yeah, like our parking passes here in Philly, since I live here, I can get one online and renew it just like my registration. But if you need to get a license, you have to physically go in and get your picture taken.
If you're going first-time license, you have to do all that. But I'm saying if you're just renewing, and a lot of these people I've seen on television in lines, they look like they've had licenses. They don't look like 18-year-old kids. So I don't know what they're doing. But I'm sure they got to be there. I just don't know why.
All right, let's get it back to things that are more important.
Let's get it back.
Like the complete collapse of the Philadelphia Eagles organization. The Deshaun Jackson story refuses to die, John. And I know you wrote about it because I don't know what it is about people with the last name of Jackson. Because first you had Deshaun Jackson, then you had Steven Jackson, and now you have Malik Jackson, defensive tackle for the Eagles, going into a Twitter beef or an Instagram beef with a fan, and he flat out defends Louis Farrakhan and calls him an honorable man. And Jeffrey Lurie is nowhere to be seen because he's promoting a movie about Hitler, and now people are saying, what the hell is going on down there?
Yeah, I got that release about Jeffrey's production company. I'm saying to myself, is Ashton Kutcher here? What's the name of that show? Did I just get punked? Because you look at Jeffrey Lurie, and he's producing this movie, which, by the way, has no release date, but nonetheless. I'm thinking to myself, is this the greatest viral PR campaign in the history of mankind?
That's what we were saying yesterday.
Yeah, maybe it's unintended, but it's going to give it great promotion.
It is. But, it was pretty evident the Eagles were hoping this would go away, and that's how they were going to approach this, sort of hide and hope. You think about everything going on in the world, the pandemic and all the talk, and even in the NFL world, forget about society as a whole, but all the talk about getting the season started, NFLPA arguing with the NFL. They just started another conference call. We're basically just over 2 weeks away, and nobody can agree on anything. So all of that, I think they were hoping would brush this out of the headlines. But every day somebody comes up and talks about it and says something more stupid. Now Malcolm Jenkins is the latest.
Yeah, we have breaking news. Malcolm Jenkins, noted CNN contributor, who hasn't said anything about this, has finally, I guess it finally got back to him wherever he is, and he says, remember, he's the guy that ripped Drew Brees for saying he'd stand for the anthem, and now says he's not really defending what Deshaun Jackson said, but he doesn't want this to distract from the black social justice issues that he's focused on.
Yeah, he dropped sort of a Woj bomb. I think he said, "Shut the F up" to Drew Brees.
Yes,
and
exactly.
now he's saying he did say Deshaun was wrong, and then he said it's the back and forth that's distracting from the real issue. Look, I hate identity politics. I hate it. I just hate it, and I don't care what it is, but identity isn't an accomplishment, and there's accomplished people across every single race, every single creed, every single color, religion, what have you. And that's what people should be focused on. There's good people and there's bad people. And it doesn't matter their skin color. It doesn't matter their religion. And people can't get past that. It's really sad.
Well, the worst part is Malik Jackson, not only does he say that Farrakhan's an honorable man, and he can say what he wants, but then he goes on to say a couple of weeks ago after the Drew Brees thing, he said, I can't wait to play him so he can go out there and hurt him. That's what Malik Jackson says. So I could be a Philadelphia apologist with one of the 50 podcasts about the Eagles and say, that's great. I can't wait to see Malik Jackson go out there and drill Drew Brees because he said he respects the flag and won't kneel for the anthem. That's how crazy this whole thing has become. And the show, and Malcolm Jenkins, by the way, I got to rip Malcolm Jenkins. Don't tell me that this is a distraction. Black Lives Matter is a distraction because it's not linked. It doesn't care about other things like people being slaughtered on the streets. That's the problem that I have with it. You can have any cause you want. Malcolm Jenkins can say whatever he wants. But for people to say that if you don't say Black Lives Matter, you're a racist, they don't care about all black lives. They only care about the police brutality part of it. That's not the biggest problem. That's the distraction. The distraction is this notion that the police are killing innocent people every single day when the facts prove that to be not even close to the factual matter. 10 people, 10 African Americans last year were killed by police officers in the entire country. How was that systemic and out of control police brutality against minorities? How is that statistical fact not disproven?
Check Tony's blood pressure. But one thing I want to say is I have one of those 50 Eagles podcasts with Ryan Rothstein. So
that's right, extending the play.
You're extending the play now? Have you both decried Brute? Have you decried?
The play.
I want another one, an emergency one tonight.
Here's what I'll say. Look, to me, Black Lives Matter. There's a sentiment. I think everybody could agree with the sentiment.
Of course.
And then there's an organization. The organization, there's a lot of things I don't agree with. Yes. I don't know, and Chris Long had the best comment on the Deshaun Jackson situation. And it was basically, we can walk and chew gum at the same time. You got to be able to hold two thoughts in your head at the same time. And too many people can't do that. I can say I agree with the sentiment. I don't agree with the organization that wants to destroy nuclear family. Go read their manifesto on their website. Yeah. There's a lot of things you're not going to agree with. But I can agree with the sentiment. And too many people conflate the organization with the sentiment. And a lot of people don't even know there's two different things.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
exactly.
I mean, that to me is the biggest problem.
No, I had people unfollow me because one day I tweeted a couple months ago, all lives matter, and then I became this target of ridicule and scorn. Like I was denouncing black lives when I said all lives matter. That's the world we live in, John, and you're right about Chris Long. He got off Twitter. And I'm close to doing it too.
Twitter's a cesspool. Social media is a cesspool. I say it all the time. I mean, you have people want to be in their bubble, and they want to be affirmed. They want affirmation. They don't want to learn anything. They want people to agree with them, and they want likes, and they want favorites, and they want people to share, and they want people that agree with them, and they don't want to hear the other side of an issue, and that's the problem. And if you don't, everybody talks about learning and teaching and listening, and they don't learn, and they don't teach, and they don't listen. So you can talk about it all you want, but until you do it, nothing's going to be solved.
Well, I saw where Julian Edelman and Deshaun, apparently, according to his Twitter feed, he said, Julian Edelman said, Deshaun and I spoke for a while last night. We're making plans to use our experiences to educate one another and grow together. Stay tuned.
Yeah, I mean, that's the Eagles' plan here. They're trying to get through this, and they're working behind the scenes, and they've contacted various local Jewish organizations and trying to get Deshaun to obviously apologize to them and do some work in that particular community to try to get past this. And they have the statement, and they left it open-ended because there's always a chance that he does something else that makes it even worse, or someone else keeps it in the news. And we just mentioned that's the biggest problem is people keep chiming in on it, weighing in on it, and the more people do that, you know, how I described it is if Scott Van Pelt's talking about it, it's fine. The Eagles will get through this. If Tucker Carlson starts talking about it, they got a problem.
I hear you. John McMullen joining us again. I don't want to go on rants. They could say whatever they want. That's the best part about America. The best part of America is they can say wherever they are. Anybody can say what they want in this country, as long as you're not threatening anybody, as long as you're not doing anything illegal. But the problem is people don't want to hear different viewpoints. That's the world we live in now. And I'm never going to be afraid to speak my mind on the show. Ever. I never have, and I never will, John.
I think people have lost the ability to have a regular discourse, have a discussion with two opposing points, and just have a normal conversation without shutting each other down.
We have bigger problems.
Rob, and I agree with that, and that's what I said. That's on social media. Social media is not the real world. like I always say, these same people, they go out. Well, they used to go out when you're allowed to go to work, and we weren't shut down. And by the way, that's a big part of this as well. People have lost that day-to-day camaraderie. They don't interact with people in a real way. So they go on their keyboard, they say whatever they want, they yell and scream. Before you had this real life and this fake life, everybody goes to their convenience store, they hold the door open, they say thank you, they like their neighbors, or sometimes they hate their neighbors, but for different reasons. The whole point is, and I know I mentioned this a long time ago on the show, nobody has any litmus test in real life. You know, Tony mentioned all lives matter. He got lambasted for that. Well, that was a litmus test.
Yeah.
And that's people online saying you can't say that. Now, in real life, they don't say that. They don't go to the person at the convenience store and say, I'm not going to hold this door for you unless you say what I agree with. And I think that's what we're missing, and that's what social media does. And it just puts people to each other's throat, and they don't want to hear dissension. They want to be affirmed. Like I said, they want retweets, they want likes, they want favorites. They don't want to hear from people that don't agree with them.
I just want animal videos. I want like BuzzFeed.
Dog pictures.
It's National Kitten Day today. You realize that, John?
Kittens are fine. Yeah.
We love kittens.
I'm more of a dog guy, but I love kittens.
But we don't have any of the cats down here celebrating National Kitten Day today. It's an outrage.
Well, you scared them all away with your rant.
Was that a rant?
Yeah.
Was it a rant?
That was a rant.
Yeah,
Let's be real, Harry. They're kind of used to that
they
in
are?
this house.
Well, John, anything new on the Redskins' nickname?
Yeah, I mean, that's moving fast. I think it's pretty evident that if we have a season, it's not going to be with the Washington Redskins. I think it's going to move that quickly, and I've always thought that. I mean, that's just part of what, Paul, we were talking about. It's not tenable for them to move forward. And everybody's saying it's going to take so long to change the logo. No, it's not. First of all, they've been aware of this for many, many years. So they've had Plan Bs and Plan Cs at the ready. So, yeah, I think you're not going to see another game from the Washington Redskins.
So what's the name? What name have you chosen? There's all kinds. There's a lot of silly ones.
I saw one Red Wolves or something today that was getting a little traction.
How about Red Foxes? I love Red Foxes. And the original Red Fox. They should have a picture of Red Fox.
Oh, yeah. The comedian?
And a junkyard in the background on the side of their helmet. The legendary Red Fox.
Yeah.
Well, what other names could be associated with D.C.?
Hypocrites? I don't know.
Swamp creatures?
The D.C. Swamp.
Yeah, the D.C. Swamp creatures.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then we bring back the great TV actor, the great TV guy, Swamp Thing.
Yeah.
Remember Swamp Thing? Adrian
That could be
Barbeau.
their mascot.
Yeah,
Adrian Barbeau was in the
Yes.
original Swamp Thing.
Oh, I think
Remember
we're
that?
onto something.
Loved her.
I think the Washington Swamp Things.
Yes, that one, or the DC Comics, which is competes against Marvel,
that would
and that's
be good
another big issue for another time.
The Twitch stream, the Washington Cesspools.
Exactly.
It's not bad. Will
but
the Twitch stream be able to come up with a good question for McMullen?
They're not. They're just all.
We needed one to ask John on his way out.
So this is, for those of you, we were discussing this off air before, that every time McMullen comes on, we will have one question. Like, what do you want to know about McMullen?
Yeah, by the way, I have to correct the record because I gave Sinatra credit for My Way. It's actually Paul Anka.
No, it's Paul Anka.
Paul Anka wrote it.
He wrote it.
Yeah.
And then obviously.
Paul sings it as well.
Yeah,
Yes,
but nobody sings it like Frank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you apologizing for an error that you made on this program?
I always. I correct every error, no matter how small it is.
No, I do too, because one good thing about doing the show, and especially being on the Twitch channel, you can't make a mistake and get away with it on this show. Although I had a great poll, John, before you came on. We were talking about this storm is Tropical Storm Faye, and I pulled Faye Ray. And a lot of people don't know Faye Ray from the original. Exactly right. I knew you would know, John. Let me give you a roaring laugh.
All right, here's one. What's McMullen's favorite movie? We'll keep it really generic.
Well, that's tough. There's a lot of movies, but I'm generally a big mob movie guy. But I would say Godfather 2 is the best movie ever made. But
I hate to do it.
Tony is out on you today.
I'm out, John. See if I invite you to my next FiOS movie night.
Yeah, but I'm not going to be bullied by Tony Bruno and say I don't like a movie. Godfather 2 is a tremendous movie.
I agree.
Now, but I like Goodfellas better. That's my favorite movie.
The only mob movie I ever liked and could actually watch all the way through was A Bronx Tale.
That's good too.
That was the only good one. All these other ones, and every night now I see when I flip around looking for something to watch when there's no sports on. You know, it's been on a lot. Scarface, one of the worst movies ever made. I know. I mean, to watch Pacino do his absolutely horrific.
Yeah, that was terrible.
I'm better than
that became. You know, that was actually mocked when it first came out because he did such a horrible Cuban accent, but. Then it became sort of more of a cult thing, and everyone loves it. And I don't think it was as popular when it came out at the time, but that's certainly not in the conversation with the great mob movies.
By the way, we have an update on the Red Fox's name, which is picking up a lot of steam right now. Because you see Red Foxes when you're driving around.
Sure.
They're out all over the place. We almost ran over one night up in Montgomery County, Pennsylvania. Our good buddy Joe Quills checks in on the Twitch stream, and he says, the good thing about the Red Foxes, you would hear the sound drop, "You dummy," every time they give up a TD. Oh. Remember when he would yell, "You dummy," at Lamont? "You big dummy."
That would be funny.
Just like at the end of the Eagles game last season. Remember the final game when the Eagles get the fumble and go on and win that game on the last play?
When you were going off on that rant, I was worried you were having the big one. I was concerned. That's why I had Harry check on you.
No, that's Elizabeth. I'm coming to see you soon, Elizabeth. That was one of my favorite shows. Red Fox. That's the golden era of sitcoms.
Grady.
Back in the day.
Grady?
Absolutely.
Grady,
yeah.
It's good stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, you're not getting a more complete NFL segment anywhere else, even on the podcast with Ryan Rothstein, which is called the
Extending the Play.
Extending the Play. Not in the grass. That's a different podcast.
Now, when we come back from the break, Tony Bruno, we have the fabulous Conlon.
With an update and an
apology? The guy on the couch calling in.
And he's not fabulous. Let's be honest.
John, have a great weekend, pal. Be careful over there. Watch the flooding in New Jersey, and watch out for Phil Murphy. He may be coming up on you in a rowboat to arrest you if you're not wearing a mask outside.
All right, guys. Appreciate it.
The great John McMullen.
McMullen's winter hat is a condom. Wow.
That's a Jimmy hat, isn't it? That's right. That's what I thought. Don't they make sandwiches, too?
Yeah.
We're coming right back. 215-462-TONY is the toll-free number.
Fast delivery.
And the Strapper line is active. We got some great Strapper line calls today.
Yes,
856-4045, 856-4045. You can leave a message there 24/7. We're coming right back.
When are we going to play the one from Jeff from D.C.? I got to tip him off.
Well, when we come back here, we'll have Conlon call in.
I think we should do it in the 5 o'clock hour.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do what in the 5 o'clock hour, Conlon?
The Jeff.
He just issued a statement on notes. We have his note. He will have to read this on the air.
So I have.
Conlon has now issued a statement, sort of like Woj.
It is right here, so I'll be able to put it up on the screen when we come back.
Can you put it up in the black background, because it looks more official then?
Okay, like
this? Yeah, like that, right there.
Okay.
That's what Woj did. We're not going to read it, though. We'll do it live.
Okay.
Yeah, and the theme song, you're right. The Washington Red Foxes, and then they play the Sanford in some themes when they come out.
Yeah. Brilliant. You know that people would get behind that, actually. That would.
Instead of that stupid Hail to the Red. They're going to have to get rid of Hail to the Redskins, Harry.
Yeah, they are. They're going to have to retire that.
We have breaking news. Mike Golick has just been named the next guy on the couch. That's from Cujo Knows on the Twitch stream.
We'll have a decision on it.
We'll have a decision show. Yes, exactly.
All right, guy on the couch, line one.
Mike texted me back, by the way, saying that he does want to come on the show.
But he has to wait till it's over. So the song is called Bartco 24, The Street Beater by Quincy Jones, the great Quincy Jones.
I did not know
You know,
that.
my favorite Quincy Jones song is of all time, Harry. Killer Joe.
Whoops. Hey.
Killer Joe is just a
Those
great
of
song.
you listening on YouTube, Periscope, and Facebook got an extra because I did not shut you down yet. So if you are watching on YouTube, Periscope, or Facebook, make that switch over to twitch.tv/Tony Bruno Show right now for free so that you can continue watching the rest of the show. You can hear the apology tour that the guy on the couch is going to do, and you'll be able to see and watch everything else. So make the switch to Twitch, yo.
Wait a minute, we have breaking news.